I'm Yield Steele. I'm with ELR-Precision. Welcome to the Arken EP5 5-25 by 56 Gen 1. In this video, we will be covering the glass, the turrets, the zoom, the parallax, the illumination, and the overall build quality, including my thoughts on the Arken EP5 Gen 1 5-25 by 56. This goes in the reasonably priced scope playlist. Please remember to subscribe, remember to like, and remember to share. That's what keeps me going. Yes! Of course, when you put a 0 mil in this tier 1 mount is a 0 mil mount. Of course, when you put a 0 mil mount on a scope, you're used to having there we go, I got it. We're used to having 6 mil in there. Of course, you're gonna have to go further up. And I didn't think about that. So now we're fired, zeroed, and we start checking the glass. It's 2 out of 2 if we start over. Do over. Okay. Now we're shooting here at 800. Ooh. Okay, so this is the Arken EP5 5-25 by 56, and for $599 or for $500, I think they're at say 500-ish bucks now. It's hard to beat. It really is hard to beat. It's a it's ED glass, Japanese ED glass in the EP5s, and that means that the glass is quite good actually. I mean, for a reasonably priced scope, there's not much chromatic aberration. There's a little bit at 25 power. At 5 power, there isn't actually any real chromatic aberration. The light, the illuminated reticle, lights up the center cross. It's not really visible in high light, so that doesn't get a lot. But the glass at distance, I have out to around a mile on this range from where I am now, and that is a very, very clear 7 out there because it's the target number 7. So that's not an issue at all. To read that, I can do wind calls easy. Mirage is easy to read in here as well. Eye relief is quite good. It's okay. It's not that picky. It's a little picky, but it's not that picky. So I would say that glass, I'll give that a 7 out of 10. And the turrets, I really like those. They're very clicky, very nice. I like them a lot, actually. I'm gonna give those a 9 out of 10. They're nice and big, they're chunky, they're thick, they're fat. I like them a lot. The parallax is also good. It's a little picky. It's not easy to find where you want your parallax. So in that regards, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. The light is going to get a 4 out of 10, or the illumination is going to get a 4 out of 10. The eye relief is probably a 7 out of 10. Zoom, for me, this is too tight. This is way too tight. Even with the throw lever on here, it's too tight. So the zoom, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. Overall build quality, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 because it really looks well put together. It's all metal. Everything's metal. It's got a decent amount of clicks in there as well. It's got on with this setup at 0 mils. It's got 10, 20, 30, 33.8. So with the right mount, it's actually got quite a decent amount of clicks in there. It's easy to operate. It's easy to hear, even with big fat hearing protectors on. It's easy to hear when you're clicking. It's also easy to feel. This the tactileness of the clicks is really good as well. So overall, I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10, taking into consideration that it's a reasonably priced scope. So I guess the rest is going to be taken at the bench. So I'll see you there. You get a 34 millimeter main tube, you get a 56 millimeter objective lens, and you get a reasonably sized bell housing, or not bell housing, sorry, the main house. What I really don't understand is that this needs to be this big. It's a spring retentioner, and it means that you really need to take care of, and you really need to think about what kind of monoblock mount you choose. I had the SH4 Gen 2 that has an equally large spring retention. I have that in a spur, SP4602, I think it is, and I had to mill out a small section of the spur to get it in there. This is in a tier 1 because I could fit it into a tier 1 without having to ruin it. Anyway, onward and upward. You get a scope that has an impressive 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33.7 mils of internal adjustment. That's actually quite good. Even for a high-end scope, that would be good. So that it gives you 30 plus mils of internal adjustment is really good. That's quite impressive. You also get decent amount of windage adjustment. To be precise, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mils, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mils. So 8 mils to each side, that equals 16 mils in total. The glass in the EP5 is quite good, actually, taking into consideration that it is a reasonably priced, relatively cheap scope. I believe this is $500 on Arken's page. Og hvis du køber dem i Danmark, så koster de 10.000 kroner. Stort set over ved. Jeg ved ikke helt, hvorfor det hænger sammen på sådan en måde. But anyway, they're really expensive in Denmark. Don't quite know why. So when we have the scope that has this amount of elevation adjustment, we also need a scope that has a decent amount of parallax adjustment, which it does. It has from 25 to 35, 50, 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 to infinity. It does not go beyond infinity, which some of the other scopes in the high-end scope series or the super scope series, they go beyond infinity. Don't really know if that makes sense or not, but they do. you get a scope in here where you can see kind of a bluish tinge out on the trees out here. I don't know, let me see my finger. Yeah, out in the very top out here, you get kind of a bluish coloration to the trees out there. Other than that, you actually get quite a good picture in through the scope on this. I think that still for $600, this is quite good. I like the eye relief of it, which you can also see on the camera that it can actually work with. That's also a trait of a higher end scope. Well, not so much on the wind or on the elevation, but at least on the wind. The build quality of the Arken EP5 Gen 1 is quite good, actually. I like it. It looks good. It looks quality. Everything is made out of metal, aluminum, so that's really good. And we get a scope that has quite a bit of features, taking the price into consideration. You get a sunshade in the box. That's standard with it. And then you get a set of bikini covers. And I think by now you guys know what I think about bikini covers. I hate them. The first thing I do with them, throw them back in the box. And then they stay there until I either throw the box away or sell the scope again. Probably the latter. I sell them, throw boxes away. Anyway, illumination is not bright enough to be able to see it in this light, which is okay. It's not that often that you use illuminated scopes in this light. On the positive side, it does have marks in between each illumination number. So that's 1 off, 2 off, 3 off, and so on, all the way to 6. But you can't really see it, even at 25 power. Yeah, the zero stop on this, we'll show you that at the bench, is also quite easy. It's also quite simple, so it's kind of spongy. The way the zero stop on this works is that this screw right here gets screwed down onto the housing down here, and you set it with this set screw. So you have a set screw to do a set screw. Inception screw? Anyway. And that makes it a little bit spongy, because that up here, I'll show you that on the bench, it's a long screw that just goes down and goes onto metal. So it's kind of spongy, but it's okay. I'm going to set it up so I can go 5 under anyway. So, and I guess that the rest of this we can do at the bench. At the bench, as we were talking about earlier in the video, we're going to look at how the inception screw, or the set screw, or the zero stop, or whatever you want to call it, is on the Arken Optics EP5 5-25 by 56. You're going to need an Allen key. This is going to be a 5/64 Allen key. And what you want to do is you want to take all these, there are 3 set screws on the turret. Take them all and loosen them all. So they're nice and loose. And when they're nice and loose, we can take, if I can hit the hole, we can take the turret off. Now this shows us that we have a aluminum ring at the bottom here. You see the little tab here is actually our zero stop. All right, just to make sure that there are absolutely no misunderstandings or confusion about which tab it is we're talking about this little tab right here. That is the actual zero stop. We have a set screw in here, and we're just going to loosen all this up. And luckily, all of this works with a 5/64 Allen key, and this set screw is what does, or what acts as, the zero stop. This goes down and interacts with this little geometry that's sticking out, that's protruding from the turret here. That's what acts as a zero stop, which is all well and good. But in the fact that this is a screw, you're going to have a little bit of give in the screw. It's going to be able to move. It can move a little bit. So when you do set your zero, and you can set your zero wherever you want to, the zero stop was set a little bit too low, so it was a little bit too tight, and thereby not being able to go all the way up against that protrusion. So now actually, when you back it back, or take the screw back about, or back it up about 1/8 of a turn, then it actually works quite good. It's nice and solid. It's good. If you look over here, I have the score charts of the EP5 Gen 1 that we talked about on range. I'm not going to talk more about that. I'm just going to say that I am impressed with the Arken Optics Gen 1. There's a little bit of chromatic aberration on it, but you get that from scopes that are a lot more expensive than this. Also, you also get it worse in scopes that are more expensive than this. So we'll cover that in one of the other scopes coming up. Please leave a subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you'd like to see from the ELR-Precision channel, and I'll see if I can cater to your needs. Anyway, until next time, stay tuned and stay safe.